Well, for this week's Guest Pass, we asked for your help finding something to show off in Plymouth.
There are lots of good ideas, too, but a family business with an international reach caught our attention.
Yeah, what they grow is actually shipped all over the globe. So this week's Guest Pass is to Orchids Limited.
So if I pull the label out here, Frag Jason Fisher. There it is.
When there's an orchid bearing your name, you're probably doing something right. And that something is especially tough to do in Minnesota.
Most of the orchid nurseries in the USA are either in Hawaii, California, or Florida. Those are the three big states. Weather helps.
Their heating bills alone would lead lesser men to wilt, but the Fisher's business has blossomed.
We ship a lot to Europe, sometimes Japan. Canada is a very good neighbor of ours.
The flowers are finicky. Some take several years from seed to bloom, but with patience, the results can be stunning.
Orchids are unique in that they come in so many different colors and sizes and shapes.
And smells. The most common orchid variety isn't fragrant, but many are.
I've got some orchids that smell like grape candy, some smell like bubblegum, some smell like chocolate.
I'm an orchid noob, but native North Star staters might have grown up studying the flower.
A lot of Minnesotans are familiar with it because our Minnesota state flower is a lady slipper, which is also an orchid. These are all distant relatives of each other.
And like most family trees, this one has branches that extend into the high rent district. Jason sold an orchid like this one to a client in Thailand for $6,000.
He had this other nursery take care of it for him before he could take it into his greenhouse, and during that time, unfortunately, it died.
$6,000 plant, and it died before he got it.
Yes, yes, but he was very understanding. He said, "Don't worry, just let me know when you have another one, and I'll buy another one."
When you're spending $6,000 on a flower, you probably have enough extra money that if one dies, it's not that big of a deal. What I was blown away with is just how expensive some of these things can get, $6,000 for one. But Jason said that can be on the low end. He's seen these things going at auction for $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 for a single flower.
It's because they're so rare, or what?
They're just very difficult to grow. Yeah. Some of these super specialized hybrids can only be done in certain places in certain ways, and they take a long time. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie adaptation, The Ghost Orchid.
Yes.
You've heard about that?
Yes.
So that can take 5 to 7 years to even begin to flower. So for somebody to put in that sort of effort and time to get it to come to bloom, it's difficult, and people go for it.
For those of us who can't afford that or just don't have the green thumb for that, are there orchids that are more affordable?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got $20, $30 orchids too, starter orchids, and people like those as well, as opposed to getting a dozen roses, which is dead in a week or two. But an orchid, depending on the type you get, can last 2 to 6 months. So, and they're beautiful as well. All right, well, next week we are heading to Burnsville for Guest Pass. So I want to know where you think we should visit. You can send us a suggestion on Twitter at Matt_Brickman. Send an email to mbrickman@WCCO.com or post a Burnsville Guest Pass suggestion on the WCCO This Morning Facebook page. Well,